goodness. Oh, wow! In your life, have you seen anything like that?
Kia ora, folks, and welcome back to the Cutline Golfing Podcast, brought to you by the TAB. My name is Karl, joined in studio, as always, by my good friend Paul Mawate. Paul, how are you?
We're back.
We are. A couple of weeks off, mate.
Well, like the big golfers, they usually have a couple of weeks off after a major. So
It's not sustainable to go every week
why not
through
us?
the year, is it?
Yeah.
Also joined by Patrick Jones, live from the beach.
Of course, yep. No, I've just been up here at Wairarapa Beach, practicing the swing, getting back into shape, and ready to go for the Mexico Open. So all going well up here.
Nice, very nice to hear. As Pat said, we will be looking at the Mexico Open on the PGA Tour this week, and also Paul, you're going to have to correct me if I say this wrong, the Palos Verdes Championship
Yes.
in LA on the LPGA Tour.
Good field too.
Yeah, very good field. It's always a good field on the LPGA. They do it well. But anyway, before we get to that, let's have a quick look at, I've got here the week that was, but it's probably the last couple of weeks that was. RBC Heritage, which I'm not sure I watched a single shot of, but Jordan Spieth, after missing the cut at the Masters, wins.
I watched.
Was it any good?
Well, it was bittersweet because I had Cantlay. So that's why I was watching.
Right.
He was in contention.
Maybe that's why I wasn't watching, because I got stripped down. We'll get to that shortly.
Yeah. I don't mind the RBC. I like the course. I love that finishing hole, that par four, quite a long par four with rubbish all the way down the left-hand side. Sort of not too dissimilar from the 18th at Sawgrass, where there's water all the way down the left-hand side. This time there's, I don't know what it is, marshy type wasteland. And it's a big green, but players do bail out to the right of it, just in case they hook it slightly or pull it slightly. So yeah, I like the tournament. It's one that doesn't sort of favour the big bombers, so you get to see a different style of golf. So, yeah,
it's Spieth won not playing his best golf at all, which is scary.
It's a good sign.
It's scary.
A good sign for him.
Yeah. Patrick, I know you're a big Jordan Spieth guy. He won Easter last year, the Valero Texas Open. He won Easter this year. And a lot of people getting pretty excited because the Masters are on Easter weekend next year. Have you bought into this?
Of course I've bought into this, Karl. It's just great for the game of golf when the Jordan Spieth's up and about. I think, we really very much got the full Jordan experience on the Saturday and Sunday there. Obviously the putt on 18 on Saturday, and then he was all over the place off the tee Sunday. Him and Grella were in several very intense conversations, but I was the same as Paul. I saw a good amount of the Heritage because Shane Lowry was right in amongst things at the end, so unfortunately he couldn't quite get the job done. But if you're going to be beaten by anyone, Jordan is always a good one. As someone who works in the social media realm, plenty of content always provided by him as well. So yeah, I thoroughly enjoy the Heritage. I think it's a shame it's not a tournament that we get more of the top names to, just sort of see them have to play a bit of a different golf. A couple of years ago, when it was the second tournament back after the pandemic, we got a really good field there, and it was a really good event. So yeah, I always enjoy seeing the guys have to work their way around the tight fairways there at Hilton Head.
Nice. And last week, the Zurich Classic, you mentioned a tournament where there's not many big guys, big names involved there. It was very top heavy.
There was some big names.
It was some big names and top heavy. Where I was going to say is, what do you think? What do you make of the Zurich Classic? Like, for me, I think.
No, I didn't watch it.
No, I didn't watch it either. But I feel like if there were more of the big names combining, or everyone bought in, it could be a hell of a tournament.
I wouldn't mind seeing it as a PGA/LPGA tournament where
give me that
male-female team up.
Yep.
And I'd think it'd be really, really interesting. I've really enjoyed the tournaments that they've had in Europe and in Australia, where the men and the women have played for the same trophy.
Yeah.
Obviously, the women off the women's tees, men off the men's. But
yeah.
I've enjoyed those seasons. I wouldn't mind seeing, a tournament or two like that on co-sanctioned by the PGA, LPGA. But I think this is a great one to get it started. Would be where you pair up.
Where do you net out on the Zurich Classic, Patrick?
Yeah, it's a tournament that in theory sounds pretty good, but they've almost tried to have the least creative format for a team's tournament possible, it seems like. I'd like to see something like have it a co-sanctioned event with the LPGA, or work in some match play, or just even all 4 rounds of four sims rather than 4 balls. Just, that little bit of extra intrigue there. I think it's got potential, but it's very much an afterthought. They've tried to get a little creative because it's not an event that's going to attract the bigger names usually. So yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't quite get the heart racing like some of the other events, but I think there is potential there if they can get a little bit more creative and figure things out.
Obviously, they've got walk-on music for the weekend tees.
Yeah, I do like that. Off the cuff, not on the run sheet here, but if you're going to pick a pairing, a men and women pairing, who would be your favourite? What are they paying? And then who's the pairing you want to see?
I'm gonna probably go Lydia.
Of course.
And I'm just trying to think of someone who would complement her play.
She can putt.
She can putt. And her approach play, her iron play is solid.
So you're looking for someone who can beat the crap out of it off the tee then?
Someone like a Brooks Koepka.
Yeah.
Or even a Rory.
Yeah. I reckon JT and Nelly, they would team up quite nicely. I'd say similar games, similar strengths in their games. But that'd be fun to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Patrick?
Yeah, I'm going Leon Maguire and Rory. Bit of the Irish flavour there.
No room for Shane Lowry.
Well, I did think about. I originally had Shane, but then you guys mentioned Rory. I remembered him, and I go, I'd probably take him over Shane, as well as Shane is playing at the moment. I think obviously Rory hits it a mile off the tee. We saw Leona just terrorising pins at Solheim last year. So the way those two are playing at the moment, I think it'd be a fun pairing to watch as well to get the crowd up and about. So it'd be my pick.
Minwoo and Minji.
Brother, sister?
Yeah, there could be some explosive fights on course. If the alternate shot doesn't go.
She caddied for him at the Par 3 tournament at Augusta as well. So teamwork's already set up there.
That'd be great. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
I hope the organisers are listening.
Would it make you watch?
Yes.
Like you say yes.
No.
Would you actually watch?
I would watch.
Yeah. I think so too. And like Patrick says, if they change the format, alternate shot every day, or there's something else rather than best ball, because that just gets a bit boring.
Yeah, no, mix it up. Yeah, almost Ryder Cup-ish like sort of thing.
Yeah. There you go. There's the official proposal from the Cutline team at the
Maybe
TAB.
the Saudi Golf League wants to give us a job. Designing tournament formats.
I don't know that.
We'll get to
I'm not sure if they could. Not sure if they could afford us. No, actually, they could.
We'll get to the Saudis shortly. Tiger and Phil. It's not a golf podcast without mentioning those guys. Listed to play the next couple of. Tiger's confirmed he's going to play in the Open, but also he's listed as at the PGA and the US Open. Phil's listed at the PGA and the US Open. Will they play? Now, as a precursor to Phil in particular, which, as I say, we'll get to Saudi shortly, but he's registered or asked for a release to play in the first Saudi event, which is the week before his defense of the PGA Championship. Does he play?
He does, yes.
Yes?
Yes, he does.
Tiger doesn't?
No.
Why?
The body's not up to it.
Not up to it?
No.
Patrick?
Yeah, I don't see Tiger playing again for St Andrews. Like we said last time, I think he's probably chucked his name in there on the off chance that he's feeling healthy. But also, I don't think the tournament organisers will be disappointed about just having his name there or thereabouts, so they can talk about that. Phil is, I don't think it's really up to Phil, right? He'll play if they let him, but there's a lot of, should we say, moving. It's a fluid situation there, so I'd be pretty surprised to see him show his face at any PGA Tour tournaments for a while. But stranger things have happened. So
I reckon he just leans into it.
Who, Tiger?
No, Phil. Just turn up at a PGA Tour event and I did it. So what? Come get me.
Well, hold on. So to play in the first LIV tournament, he needs to get a release from the PGA.
Yes.
So if he gets a release, does that mean he's like no longer a member of the PGA?
No.
Just means this is
release
like
for that week.
This is like
So
what the All Blacks when Barrett went to Japan. It was a
So they can. I was reading something earlier. I've lost it. The players can ask for a release because it's a sanctioned tour event by another tour. It's not a new tour. It's because it's the Asian tour.
Mm-hmm.
The PGA, basically, it sounds like they can't block the release. So, we'll get to it soon. We're there now. Right, there's 15.
Let's talk about the elephant in the room.
Yeah, there's 15 of the top 100 who have registered to play or asked for a release from the PGA to play in this first Saudi golf event. I've read that there's 70 players overall have committed to the 48-man field. So they're going to have to turn people away. And I think how it works, because it's a sanctioned, an Asian Tour sanctioned event, the PGA Tour don't really have any rights to decline these releases, except for when the Saudi events are held in the state.
Coincide. Oh, I thought
when
it was
they're held domestically. International events, they are okay, but when it's held domestically, that's when the waters get murky, I think. So from what I understand, this first one should be okay. And I guess if we're seeing a number of these top players play in this first one and the 25 million is dished out as it should be, that could be the precursor, I guess, to seeing others jump ship.
not quite jump ship, sort of just jump off for a while.
Yeah, but
So he can jump back and forth.
It'll be interesting once the first one, I think it's in Portland, the first one held in the States, and it coincides with the John Deere Classic. So the big guys aren't going to be playing that one anyway. So, yeah, it's a true watch this space type scenario. Patrick, Robert Garrigus, the famed Robert Garrigus that almost everyone in the world knows of.
Mm-hmm. Was that a question?
No, well, he was his name thrown under the bus as the first official person to ask for a release. What do you make of that?
Oh yeah, I think that's just the Saudis are probably giving him a bit of money on the side to sort of be the point end of the spear or whatever they call it. But I can't imagine. I think the PGA Tour are going to be pretty desperate to not set any sort of precedent here, right? Like, I'm not a lawyer or any expert in the field, but I imagine it's going to be, if you go and play that, you're not coming back unless you get it overturned in court. Like, they're going to sort of really dig in and make it as difficult as possible for the players. They might say, like, might get overturned in court eventually, but who knows how long that'll take. So, yeah, I think for the Garriguses of the world and maybe some Euro Tour players, I saw the comparison in Perth between the Scandinavian mixed is at the same week and this event in London. So there's obviously a fairly good incentive for those guys who aren't paying even for PGA Tour purses to switch over. But for these guys on the PGA Tour, if they face the prospect of not being allowed back on tour for a little while at least, it's going to make it a tougher decision.
He's playing at Mexico this week.
Who? Who?
Garrigus.
He was on top of the leaderboard at one point last week. Him and 2 Gloves Gainey. Not top of the league. They were top 10, and then they missed the cut. But
I think he's 400 to 1
this week.
Yes.
It should be 4,000 to 1.
It's not an overly strong field, to be fair. I mean, there are a few names in Mexico this weekend, but it's not a strong field.
Flat out terrible field.
He's paying 401 in a mediocre well, probably a below average field. 400 to 1.
Tell you what, the Saudis are paying him more than $400 to go and play in their league. They're paying overs because he's not a draw card. Bit of speculation, I guess, or we have a bit of a what do you think we can expect betting wise on the Saudi stuff? It'll be.
I think
I've been talking to one of the bookies here, and we haven't really got into it yet. We're waiting till names come out, and we'll sort of see what you know. I don't even know if officially if we will offer betting. I presume we will.
We have to. It's just like it's part of the Asian tour.
It's an Asian tour event, right?
But singles. Yeah, singles and teams all in one. Like it offers, I think, something different. What do you reckon?
I think the futures markets would be a little more difficult to, when you say, like the team sort of thing, overall sort of thing, might be a wee bit more sort of involved. But certainly, tournament by tournament, I'd expect it would have outright winner, top 5 markets, something like. I mean, if there's only 48 in the field, then it probably wouldn't go too far past top 5, maybe top 10.
Top 10, no cut. So it's some head-to-heads.
I guess
I don't really know.
I'm guessing the bookies would probably just have a bit of a touch and feel for the first sort of 2 or 3 tournaments just to see how they're run and how they work out, and then they might start to expand on the sort of things they offer. But I see no reason why there wouldn't be at least an outright market.
Yeah. Anything you'd like to see in terms of betting, Petra?
It's hard to say. I think the big question, right, is going to be how much of this thing are we actually going to be able to watch? Like, it sounds like they don't have much down in terms of broadcasters. They're sort of hoping to just throw some cash at someone and then that'll figure it out. I was trying to watch a bit of the Asian mixed event in Thailand a couple of weeks ago, and that the coverage was fairly thin on the ground for that. So I'm not quite sure if they'll just take over the Asian tour's existing broadcast partners. But it could be a good one for you, sort of like we get with the match play and maybe a few of those other events where you get a bit more in-play stuff. Good for the multis and all that. But yeah, I think it'll be fairly standard fare to start with, at least. It's a bit like sort of betting on a horse race. If we get futures out there, you sort of like you got your Melbourne Cup market, but you don't know who's going to go. So do you take a chance on a few of these top 20 or 30 players and the chances they get into the field or situation there? So I might have to get Thad onto the podcast to take a look at it for us.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's while I guess the background of it is not great in terms of Saudi involvement. It's an exciting, I feel like an exciting sort of thrust of energy into the golf world.
Oh, it's mixed things up, isn't it?
It has, yeah. I like chaos. I like watching chaos.
Things were just, in terms of the PGA, things were just cruising along.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah. Anyway, watch the space. We'll keep you updated as we hear more. Before we move on, just quickly, I guess while we're still on the Saudis, their fearless leader, Greg Norman, trying to play the Open, 150th Open, 2-time winner of the Open, and the RNA shut him down. Will he play a qualifier?
I'm going to say no.
No?
No. He will.
Patrick, have you seen the 30 for 30?
No, it's still on the watch list, unfortunately. NBA playoffs really cut down a lot of my viewing time at the moment, so I've been fairly flat out the last couple of weeks, but I've heard good things, so it'll be next time I get a quiet evening, I'll be loading up a box of popcorn and watching it.
Have you watched it?
No, I haven't.
Oh, boys. We're on a golfing podcast.
What's it on?
ESPN.
All right.
It's good. It's very good. I was saying this to a friend last night. He grew up playing golf or watching golf in this country, and he's one of the names, like just because you realize, I know he's a good golfer. I know he's number one, former world number one. He's won some majors, but watching that doco gave me an appreciation for how good he was. Incredible. Couple of the runs he went on in terms of winning, and then some of the meltdowns he had.
Yeah,
Quite a relatable golfer, actually.
I guess he's more known for his meltdowns than he is for the majors that he won.
Yeah.
Yeah, now he's added this extra bit to his legacy as well. When our kids are talking about him, I'm not quite sure what the first line in his biography is going to be. But my favourite story is still how he's tried to set up the Rebel Tour in '94 or whatever it was, and didn't actually bother checking with any other players to see if they were keen, just slid some notes under their doors or whatever.
Yeah, funny that didn't get a mention in the doco, but anyway, last one in the world of golf before we move on. You'll like this, Pat. Pat Mahomes and Travis Kelce teamed up, and Justin Timberlake runs an invitational golf tournament in Vegas every year. Raise some money for charity. They won at 18 under. I thought I would ask you boys, if you're going to pick a sporting superstar to team up and play a game of golf with, who would it, well, be on the same team as, who would it be?
Jordan
Spieth.
Michael Jordan.
Oh, Michael Jordan. Yeah, okay.
Well, he likes golf.
He does.
He likes to punt.
He does.
He might be a bit worried about you raising the stakes on him, Paul.
Would be throwing coins up against the wall just before in the clubhouse before we went out.
I'd like to see MJ's reaction when you try and kick a ball out of the rough on the fourth fairway there.
Unsubstantiated claims there. And Karl's going to get a taste of that this Friday as we battle it out. I'm playing for the beige team. He's playing for the white team. Nice. Wainui Golf Club.
Huge. Patrick, who are you playing with?
I think Paul's taking option 1A there, so I'll go with the modern day MJ in a lot of ways. Steph Curry. He's obviously a gun golfer. Just seems like a great man to hang out with. So I think I'd enjoy playing 18 holes with him. Not
Charles Barkley.
I don't know. I think me and Chuck would the trash talk would probably end us getting kicked out of the course on the fourth or fifth hole.
I didn't really think internationally, to be honest. I went straight to who.
Do you think Kiwis?
Yeah, and who I wanted to sort of play with. Knew that they played golf growing up, and who my heroes in that. And I couldn't go past Goldie, Jeff Wilson.
Oh yeah,
big golfer. From what I remember, being told and hearing when I was younger, he's always a low single-figure handicapper, so quite fun. A few stories. Highlanders legend. But anyway,
yeah.
Let's not go to the Highlanders.
I'm guessing that Aaron Smith would feature highly on Patrick's wish list.
Features highly on all my wish lists, that man.
Apologies to Aaron Smith.
Alrighty, let's move on. New segment on the show now. What's your big call? We've started bringing this in across a couple of the pods and shows that we do. I want a big call from each of you. I just realised I haven't really done my homework on this section, so I'll go last. But I want a big call for the golfing world this week. Doesn't have to be betting related. Patrick, you know the drill, so I'll start with you. What's your big call this week?
John Rahm's $1.12 for a top 40 finish. I don't think he's getting one. I think he's
So you're taking the other side.
Yeah, you can't actually get
it's
off
about
on that.
$556.
Yeah,
nice.
I'll have a bit of that. I think this is he's not at his best, so he'll be working on a few things this week. He's obviously got bigger targets in mind coming up. So just take on John.
What about to miss the cut? So $7.10 to miss the cut.
Yeah, give me a bit of that.
$7.10. Wow, that is appealing. Yeah, wow. $7 to make it. Paul, your big call.
Dustin Johnson.
Got married this week.
He just got married to Paulina Gretzky. Kid Rock was playing at the wedding. So, I mean.
Where are we going with this?
Well, all I'm saying is, I think he's a happy man now. Happy man. So, I'm backing him to win a major this year.
Oh, yeah.
Possibly not the Open Championship, but I think
Tiger's already won that.
he will be very much suited to either the PGA at Southern Hills or the US Open at Brookline. So DJ to win either of those two majors. He's $18 in both at the moment.
Okay. I'm going to go big-ish call regarding the Mexico Open. There's two Mexicans in the field, Abraham Ancer and Carlos Ortiz. Actually, I could be wrong. There may be more.
I'm guessing there's probably a few more.
Two that are well known on the PGA Tour. They will both miss the cut.
Wow.
In their home Open.
No love.
Yeah. I just don't think they've been playing that good of golf. Ancer's obviously the better chance he's second favourite at $15 this week. But yeah, no thanks.
Can't believe the disrespect for Jose Cristobal is last year shown there, Karl.
Yeah, sorry. Apologies to all the Mexican listeners and fans out there.
Let's just take a note of the first big call on the cut line. 2 negative big calls, 1 positive big call.
Also 2 resulting this week, 1 resulting in 2 or 3 or 4 months' time.
Sunshine, rain. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Let's get to have a quick look at the betting results from the RBC. It was a couple of weeks ago, but that was our last preview. You guys both up for the week, so well done there. Paul up a whopping $30 for the week.
A playoff win away from a huge week.
Yeah. Patrick Cantlay, top 5 was your winner. You had 20 on at $5.50. Patrick, winner of the week, up $131.35.
Mm-hmm.
Lowry and Kuchar, top 5, top 10, both of them. Well done.
I think Matt Kuchar's now responsible.
I had a bit of a tie for 10th. I think there was a few players tied for 7th or something like that. But Lowry is playing very, very well at the moment.
Yes. And I got stripped out. Not even close. I don't even think any of my guys made the cut, let alone being close to saluting. So disappointing for me. I apologise. But I am still leading overall, followed by Paul, then Patrick. So let's get to this week and the betting previews. We'll start with the LPGA, and then we'll go to the Mexico Open on the PGA. I know I've got it differently in the run sheet, but I'd like to keep you boys on your toes. So, Paul, as a resident LPGA expert, what do you know about the Palos Verdes Championship?
Well, it's back-to-back in California.
Yes.
They're staying there, playing in Los Angeles at the Palos Verdes club. I'm just having a look here. This
is the first time tournament, isn't it?
Yes, but it used to be, didn't it used to be the JT BC.
BC.
I'm pretty sure. But this is the first time.
First time on this course?
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's the site of the North Rock Grumman Regional Challenge for women's college golf, has been for the past 25 years. And golfers who have won there include Lorena Ochoa, Natalie Golbis, and Jennifer Rosales. So if you're looking for some sort of form lines, have a look at any players in the field who may have performed well at that collegiate tournament. Also, players who came through either UCLA or USC, they will almost certainly be very familiar with the course. One name sticks out to me, Patty Tavatanikit. Having a look here. That's about it, really.
I found it hard to get into the weeds of this one, statistics wise, because there's not anything available. They haven't played here before. So for me, it's one where you can just look at all the sort of strokes gained data and tee to green approach. From what I understand, the greens are pretty small. The fairways are pretty tight.
Accuracy.
There's a lot of bunkers. So greens and reg, sand saves, approach shots, strokes gained off the tee is what I've been looking for. Patrick, anything else to add?
Of course, yeah, all the greens do seem to be fairly well guarded by a lot of bunkers. So I think you're going to be doing well to hit a lot of them, so people can get up and down from the sand, and you want to be keeping it reasonably straight off the tee. A lot of thin fairways and plenty of trees not far off, so getting offline early could lead to a few big scores.
Nice. Well, we'll start from the bottom up, eh? Last time out, loser. I'll go first. My best bet for this tournament, Australian Minjee Lee. Played 5 times on tour this year and hasn't finished any worse than T23. She was T3 last week. She's had a T2 along with 2 more 12th place finishes. She leads tour in scoring average. She ranks 1st strokes gained tee to green and approach. She's 9th off the tee, 5th in greens in regulation, and 10th in putts per green in regulation. It's a matter of time before Minjee Lee is in the winner's circle for me. $17. Paul. Lydia Ko.
Yes, Lydia Ko.
You're unbelievable.
Well,
no, you're not. You are predictable.
$13, Lydia Ko. Look, she's got off to. She's back in the groove again. I do like the way that she has been playing. She's in the top 20 stats for a number of these key factors. So I don't think it's any surprise that I'm backing Lydia Ko at $13.
Patrick. Oh no, we may have lost Patrick. Let's just see if we can. If our producers here can hear us, is Patrick alive? Because we cannot hear him.
He is a frozen man.
He is. We'll continue, eh? We'll
Yeah.
go again. My mid-tier, Madeline Sagstrom at $67.
You've backed her a few times.
I have. I like Madeline Sagstrom. And you know why? Because she's one of the most consistent players on tour. She hasn't missed a cut since May last year. She's finished T3 last week on the back of a final round 5 under 66. It was her 4th finish of 17th or better this season. She ranks 28th in strokes gained off the tee. She's 15th strokes gained putting, 21st in putts per GIR, screen and regulation, 16th in putting average, and 15th in sand saves. So I think Madeline Sagstrom, if she gets hot, she will be there or thereabouts. Now I can see Patrick is back.
I just took the
So I don't
chance with Paul tipping at Lydia to go and get a coffee because rinse and repeat. I did want to ask Paul, though, are we all at all concerned about Lydia being third last in driving accuracy on tour this year?
She's due a turnaround in that stat.
Patrick, we will throw back to you for your best bet, please.
Yeah, I was struggling a little bit with my best bet. Minjee Lee certainly jumped out. A lot of appealing statistics there. Inbee Park, I think, is a good shout as well. But, then I sort of came back to the fact I'm just going to back the lady who's won 7 of her last 13 tournaments. Hasn't been at her best the last couple of weeks, but talked about due a turnaround. I think this course sets up even better for her. She's 13th on tour in driving accuracy, about 20th in sand save, so I'll be able to get out of trouble on the rare occasion she gets herself into it. Just in terms of current form, there's no one better in the world than Jin Young Ko, who's out to $8 this week, which is an even more appealing price. So, not going to overthink this one, Jin Young Ko for me.
I thought that's where you might go.
Yes, I'm stuck in the middle with you, and I don't know what it is I should do.
Mid-tiers, just to confirm, I have Madeline Sagstrom at $67. Paul, where are you going?
Danielle Kang at $31.
Yeah, nice.
She got off to a red hot start earlier in the season. She's cooled off slightly. She's still number 1 in the race to the CME Globe, a 3rd on the money list. She's 4th in putts per greens and regulation, 11th in putting average, 25th in greens and regulation. She won't have to turn her game around too much to get back to where she was at the beginning of the season. So Danielle Kang in LA, $31.
Patrick.
Someone I've already mentioned on this podcast already, actually, Leone Maguire at $46. I was all prepared to make her my best bet, and then I saw the price and can very happily slide into my mid-tiers. So I think she's a great price here. She's got a win in 2 of the top 15s in her last 6 starts. She's 8th for strokes gained around the green on tour this year, which I think is going to be very key with these small greens, and won the 2017 Northern Rock Grumman Regional Challenge here. As Paul said, that's it's a key lead in tournaments. So yeah, I'll definitely be hearing something on Leone at 46s.
Very nice. Roughies.
Looks like a long shot, baby.
I'm going with one of yours, Paul. Stacey Lewis at
Yeah.
$126. Started off the season very well. 2 top 10s and a top 20. She dipped a bit during the Asian swing. Bounced back last week with a T21 at the LA Open. Very accurate off the tee. She's ranked 9th in driving accuracy. She's 39th in greens and regulation, 25th stroke gain approach, and 44th in strokes gain putting. So got the all-round game there at 126s, worth a little look. Paul?
Carlotta Sigander at $101. She went to Arizona State, so a neighbor of California, pretty much. And has had success there as well. Although she hasn't been in the best of form of late, she still has a very good, solid all-round game. And it wouldn't take much for her to slot into a top 10 here. So Carlotta Sigander at 101.
And Patrick?
I am taking the $326 chance Charlotte Thomas as my roughie. Obviously, to be at that price, there's got to be a few question marks around, but she is 2nd for driving accuracy and 5th for sand saves on tour. So in theory, does profile reasonably well. And after missing all of 2021, she's only played 3 tournaments this year, but was 12th at the Zurich Championship in Hawaii a couple of weeks ago. So for someone at that massive price, there's a modicum of form around her. I think there's certainly a lot worse start throws you could have at $300 plus.
Yeah, nice. I like that. Just hit it into the sand off the tee and get up and down. Easy.
Plenty of sand in LA.
Yeah.
And Arizona.
Yeah. Alrighty. That's the LPGA look at. Now we'll go to the PGA and the Mexico Open. Finally makes its long-awaited debut as a fully sanctioned PGA Tour event. It's bounced around a little bit over the years. Corn Ferry Tour or
Nationwide.
nationwide.com, whatever it is. What are you looking for in Mexico, Paul?
Oh, you'll love it. Someone who can rip it and grip it and rip it. It's a fairly long course. There's one drivable par 4, just under 300 yards, but most of the par 4s are fairly long. There's 5 par 3s, so maybe par 3 performance comes in there as well. But someone who can rip it down there. There's fairly wide open landing areas. There are a number of bunkers in there, so the ability to sort of get up and down if you are in a greenside bunker comes in very, very handy. But definitely length off the tee will definitely help here at the, what is it, the Vedanta Viata.
Do you know who designed the course?
Greg Norman. It's quite ironic,
he's
isn't it?
everywhere at the moment.
Quite ironic.
He's everywhere at the moment. So on that, I'm also looking at Greg Norman designed courses, and so the Corrales Punta Cana, the Puerto Rico Open, Mayakoba, even Texas
Open,
the Texas Open, a couple of weeks
Valspar.
ago. Patrick, what else you got to add?
Yeah, the driving distance one was the one that came out in flashing lights for me. I think going to be wanting to look at maybe strokes gained approach and birdies at better, because just the way this course profiles, it seems like you're going to have to shoot a low score. But someone's going to be able to overpower this course, so you can't get caught too far behind. So I'm looking at all those sort of scoring metrics, par 3 scoring, obviously with the 5 par 3s in play as well, and then all this sort of that connection of Greg Norman / Paspalum courses around sort of Latin America and the southern United States that all link in well together, that I've also taken a look at.
Yeah, nice. I would say too, have a look at approach or proximity from 175 yards or more, because it is quite a long course.
A lot of the approach shots are probably going to be from around that sort of zone.
Yeah. Okay, we'll keep the same order. I'll start. My best bet in Mexico is Sebastian Munoz at $29. For starters, I cannot have John Rahm's a favorite at $5.
Sorry.
No thanks. He hasn't won a thing since the US Open. Yes, he's been an incredibly good golfer. He is an incredibly good golfer, but not at $5. That's Tiger in his prime.
What would Tiger in his prime be paying against this field? $1.80?
We'd be paying the bookies. No odds. Yeah.
Tiger outbook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tiger versus the field. Give me Tiger. Sebastian Munoz at $29. He is, as you said earlier, Pat, he's a former PGA Tour winner, and there's not many in this field. So that's probably something to not overlook either when you're doing your research this week. Where are we? Sorry. Against the field, over the last 6 months, he ranks 4th in strokes gained tee to green, 3rd off the tee, and 12th in approach. He's 38th on tour and approaches from 175 to 200 yards, and 34th from 200 yards plus. 47th in sand saves. He's got a great record in Mexico. He was T14 at the 2020 WGC, and he was 2nd at the El Bosque Mexico Championship, which is a Corn Ferry Tour event. He's made 6 straight cuts, had a T4 and a 3rd in his last 10 starts, and he has had a T9 at TPC San Antonio, where they hold the Texas Open. So Sebastian Munoz, $29.
TPC San Antonio Oaks course. Have a look at that guy there.
Oh, hello. This will both like this. Yours, please.
Tony Finau at $21. He's 41st strokes gained tee to green, 17th in strokes gained approach. I guess if you look at his career, he's probably a golfer that has under-delivered on the potential that he had. But I'm not writing him off. I think he's getting better.
It's not like you.
As he gets older. So I'm happy to, and I think him playing away from sort of US soil might help him out a wee bit. He had a top 10 earlier this season. He comes in off a top 30 and a 35th at the Masters, top 30 at the Texas Open. So Tony Finau, I think, worth a go at $21.
Patrick, you doubling down on the favourites?
No, I'll be cheering for Tony with my heart, but not my wallet this week, unfortunately. So I'll let him Paul take all of Tony. But I'm going with Matt Jones at $41, my best bet. He's was second at the San Antonio last start on Greg Norman design, third at Kapalua earlier this season in a much stronger field. Of course, I think could match up fairly well. Obviously, it's a very, very long track, pretty wide open fairways, not a lot of rough to deal with there. So like that, he's top 30 for par 4 scoring and 34 for driving distance on tour the season. But if he can, beat up a few of those longer par 4s, that'll really come in handy. And it was 30th at the PGA at Kiowa last year, which is reasonable course correlation as well. Pascal in that one. So I think 30th there should track fairly well in this field in terms of not many beat him there playing. So I'll be having something on Matt Jones at 41s.
Nice. Sorry, he did pop up a few times for me, Matt Jones, but didn't make it.
Couldn't fit him in.
Didn't make it. My mid-tier.
I'm stuck in the middle with you, and I don't know what it is I should do.
Russell Knox at $46.
Oxy.
This is where it starts getting a little weird for me. He is the 6th best golfer in the field over the last 6 months. Stats by datagolf.com. He ranks 5th strokes gained tee to green, 16th off the tee, and 7th in approach. He's second on tour in greens and regulations, and he's inside the top 58 in approaches between 175 and 200 yards and 200 plus yards. He's made 7 of his last 8 cuts. He was T6 at the Players and has had success at Mayakoba, which is a pretty good
Form
course correlation there. So Russell Knox at $46. Paul.
Cameron Tringale at $36. He's 19th in greens and regulation, 20th in par 3 scoring. He's had two top 3s earlier this season and comes in off a top 12 and a top 10. So in some pretty good form. Comes into a field which is a lot weaker than the ones he's
not won it.
The ones he's competed in the last month or so. So I think he's a big chance. Cameron Tringale.
The fact that there's a non-winner paying $36, a perennial non-winner.
Wow.
He's won the most. What is he? He's won like $17 million on tour, and he's never won. It's
always there or thereabouts.
Unbelievable. Eh? Sorry.
Get your kids some golf clubs.
Yeah, I've got some. Patrick, your mid-tier.
Long-time listeners of the Cut Line will be very familiar with Wyndham Clark, who's $67 this week and is my mid-tier. Big main reason, 3rd on tour for driving distance. He can absolutely whack at a country mile. He was pretty good at the Heritage. He was 6 under through 3 rounds, and that might be the worst course setup for him on tour. So coming to a much more favourable setup here. 51st on tour for par 3 scoring, so he could go right there. And he's got previous top 10s at Puerto Rico, which is a correlation course, as well as the 3M Open, which is another bomber's paradise. He was 22nd at the Corrales a few weeks back, so in pretty decent form. He's worth a shot at $67.
Nice. My roughie.
Looks like a long shot, baby.
As I said, this is where it starts getting a little weird. Not overly confident or keen on this person, but Ryan Armour at $111. Ranks inside the top 16 in strokes gained tee to green, off the tee, and approach versus field. He's the most accurate driver on tour. Doesn't hit it very far, but he is 34th in greens and regulation. He's 19th in sand saves and 3rd in approaches from 200 plus yards. So worth a little look, I think, at the minors anyway. Ryan Armour at $111. Paul.
Trey Mullinax at $141. here's someone who can whack it down the fairway a fair distance. He's 14th strokes gained off the tee, a 7th in driving distance. He finished 3rd at the Sanderson Farms tournament last season. He's coming off a couple of miscuts. I'll put a line through the Zurich Classic. I'll blame it on his partner. He finished 50th at the Corrales Punta Cana. Yeah, he doesn't seem to mind, I guess, courses with that are slightly more open and forgiving. So Trey Mullinix at 141.
We all love courses that are open and forgiving. Patrick, yours.
I'm going with Kurt Kitayama at $151. There's a lot of names in this sort of roughy range I looked at, and we looked at their stats and said, no, thank you. Kurt actually showed up pretty well, though. 46 for driving distance and top 40 strokes gained approach on tour this year. I was 3rd at the Honda not long ago, so in some sort of form, and hasn't won on PGA Tour, but got 2 wins on the European Tour, both in sort of windswept coastal tracks at Mauritius and the Oman Open. And to be honest, I'm not sure this is a much stronger field than the 2018 Mauritius Open. So the $151, I'll have a go at Kurt.
Outside of the top 10 guys, this field sucks.
Well, yeah. No offense meant to those players outside the top 10.
Well, they're not exactly selling tickets, I don't think. I mean, go and watch, but it's a good good chance betting wise to nab a roughie.
Yes.
Or nab someone a little bit higher up.
I'd rather watch the LPGA tournament this weekend.
John Rahm wins by 10, and
well, yes, if he does that, then everyone who backed him at 5 can laugh and be very happy with themselves. But I just like the strength of the field and the LPGA this weekend, as opposed to the PGA.
I do too. Okay, let's get to our betting, our staking plan. We've got $100 to bet on this week. I'll start. Go to the LPGA Tour first. I'm going $10 on Minjee Lee to win at 17s. And although it's not up yet, $10 on Minjee Lee top 10. Sorry, not 10, $50 on Minjee Lee top 10. At around, I think it'll be around the 275-ish price there. Then to the PGA Tour, $10 on Sebastian Munoz to win at 29s, $10 on Munoz top 10 at 433. And then I've got 2 top X multis. So you can now multi the top 10, top 20, and top 30 kind of thing.
Just not the same player.
Not the same player, and you can't do, John Rahm top 10 into Munoz top 10. Has to be
different players
in
different markets.
Yep. So I'm going $10 on John Rahm top 10, Munoz top 20, and Chris Kirk top 30 at $8.76, and $10 on Gary Woodland top 20, Russell Knox top 30, Ryan Armour top 40 at $15.52. That's my $100. Paul.
I'll start with the LPGA. 20 on Lydia Ko to win at $13, and 20 on Danielle Kang to win at $31. I get the feeling both of these players will be in the final pairing on Sunday, so I'll be sitting pretty, just waiting for a big collect. The Mexico Open, I've got $10 to win on Tony Finau at $21, and 20 on Finau for a top 10 at $320. I'm going 20 on Tringale for a top 10 at $450, and $10 on Trey Mullinix for a top 10 at 16s. That's me, Hundy.
Patrick?
I'm also just having 2 bets at the LPGA this week. The 2 ladies will be in the actual final pairing, 20 on Jin Young Ko at $8 and 5 on Leona Maguire at 46s.
There's going to be 4 in the final group then.
Well, I guess we'll see on Monday morning. Over to Mexico, having $5 each on Aaron Wise, Cameron Champ, and Davis Riley to win at 29, 34, and 41, respectively. Also $6 on Aaron Wise, top 5 at $750. And then into my already selected golfers, $5 on Matt Jones for the win at $41, 10 on him top 5 at $750, and 15 top 10 at $6. $3 on Wyndham Clark to win at $67, and 10 on him to finish top 10 at $7. $1 on Kurt Kitayama at 151, $3 on the top 10 at 17, and $7 on him to finish top 20 at $8.
Wow. I presume you ordered all these, Paul, because I can't keep up with that. That's wild.
Yeah. Send the email through.
If you're still listening, got a little something for you.
Not a promo code.
Yeah, we should have. I was supposed to tease this at the start, but I forgot. But head to the deposit page on the TAB app or at tab.co.nz, and at the top there's a little box where you can enter a promo code. If you enter promo code CUTLINE, all one word, CUTLINE, you'll get a $10 bonus bet to use on the golf this weekend. A little freebie from us. So that is open to the first 250 punters, or I think it closes on Monday. So you've got right up until the final days of these tournaments to use this promo. One bonus bet per person.
Fairly simple.
Enjoy. Yeah.
Cool.
Boys, thanks very much. Another good episode. Plenty of nuggets there to get into. Enjoy the week.
Can't wait for the first LIV tournament.
Plenty more discussion around that before we get there.
So we've got a couple of majors before that as well, don't we?
Yeah, I think so too. No, we don't actually. Isn't the PGA? The PGA is the week after it.
All right.
So yeah, plenty happening. Anyway, thank you to all your listeners, and we will see you next time on the Cut Line.